Right, enough. Welcome to my second live stream of the day. I've missed you all. I felt the need to connect with you once again. So I thought I'd do another live response to yet another pustulous, excremental, garbage-filled rant from one Gil Carvalho once more. This boy is one of the most arrogant, annoying, ignorant Dunning-Kruger sufferers anywhere on the interwebs. It annoys the absolute living piss out of me that this boy has any kind of following whatsoever, because frankly he deserves not one of the subs that he's got. While I toil away here with very little help from Ted, frankly, to try and bolster, you know, a viewership. And by the way, I'm normally joined on these live streams by His Lordship, Field Marshal Lord Edward Yellow, His Majesty Lord Edward Yellow, King of the Bears. But Ted has not been seen lately at the camouflage training. It's been one of those things. Good to see you, Ron. Good to see you in the house. Yeehaw, a live session. Yes, I'm not usually online at this time of the day. So it's, yeah, I'm just trying things out. I felt like coming online again because I was watching this video to myself and I thought, this is one I've really got to respond to immediately. Because it's just yet another example of this exact sort of things I've been talking about. It's just appalling. Really, really appalling. Good to see you, Garuda Legends. Good to see you. Corey's in the house. Good to see Corey. Boris is here. Very, very nice. Lovely, lovely. Some greenback dollars, it looks like, from Jacob. We appreciate those. That will keep the Let's Find Ted fund alive. Because, as I say, Ted has not been seen recently at the camouflage training. If anyone knows where, you know, I might start looking for Ted, perhaps you should sing out because, well, this being the camouflaged training session for the day, Ted's taken it upon himself to disappear, frankly. Or maybe he just knows I'm going to start swearing at Gil Carvalho any moment soon. I don't know. Very nice to see Hobby Halloween. Hobby Halloween, not Hobby. Goodness gracious, can't even read. Yes, 2 times in one day, I know. That's what she said. Boom, boom. I'm here all week. Yeah, right, so the usual caveats. Number 1, this is me responding live off the cuff to a video I have not viewed through. I'm going to respond to this straight off the cuff. I will pause this video often to make corrections as and where I see fit, being a highly experienced scientist in my own right with some pretty clear ideas about science, how it should be done and how it should be communicated about. If that's not your bag, you are in the wrong place and you can off you pop, basically. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Sorry about that. You've wasted 2 minutes and 15 seconds of the introduction that I've done so far. But if you don't like pausing the video often and correcting every second word, even in the middle of a sentence, if it's wrong, then you're in the wrong place. If you don't like naughty words, you shouldn't be here because I'm going to use some. And also, if you don't like even naughtier words from Ted himself, then probably don't follow Ted. Absolutely don't follow Ted on X at @HRH_Ted. You'll hate it. All he does is call everyone someone from next Tuesday. It's incredible. Another New Zealand $10 is good. Brian, appreciate those. Thank you very much. I will keep up the good work. Yes, it is. It's been, thank you for that. We've started the lambing process. So far, we've had just the 5 lambs born. Sadly, the first one was stillborn. Then we had 4 further since then who have been rejected for various reasons or whatever, or they haven't suckled or had the instinct to swallow or whatever else. And we even got to the point of feeding one enterically because we were determined this one is going to live, and sadly it still didn't. That's nature for you. It's sad. It's been a bit hard. It's our first time farming this year, and it's our first time doing lambs. And yeah, so thank you. Appreciate that. Right, what else is going on? Nice to see you, says Rachel England. Nice to see you and Ted. You can see Ted. Where's Ted? Ted has not been seen at the camouflage training. Where is Ted? Boys and girls, have you seen Ted? Yes, he's right in front of you. Oh, no, he isn't. Oh, yes, he is. Sorry, I sound like a vegan. If you don't eat your fruits and vegetables, you might die. I'm over it now, though. Okay, so anyway, you've been binge watching my videos. Have you? What is it? Stomp and Beast. Good. After binge watching your videos, it's safe to say that eating a meat-based diet with fish and some organ meat is most optimal diet for human beings. You don't need the organs. Stomp and Beast. The organs are not necessary. He's a master of camouflage, is Ted. Yes, you're right. He is. He might show up at some point, I don't know. But in the meantime, he's got the shits with me because I won't pay him his appearance fee. He thinks he's important because his other gig is doing the voice for the fictional character Brian Blessed from time to time. And he thinks he's some kind of celebrity or something. Anyway, let's hear some other people that think they're competent and useful in some way that actually turns out that they're not. Well, let's hear a bit from Gil Carvalho. And hear what he has to say about the cholesterols, though. Goodness gracious, this is one that won't die, isn't it? All right, Gil, tell us all about the cholesterols, though.
People with low cholesterol level tend to die more.
That's right. Should we stop the video right there? It's just an association. It's not cause and effect, mind. That's just an observable fact. The largest data set on this available anywhere on the planet tells us just that. It says that when a person's LDL... when a person's total cholesterol, get it right, son, goodness gracious, I'm glad Ted wasn't here to hear that. If a person's total cholesterol in their blood drops below 220 milligrams per deciliter, for every gram per deciliter it drops below that level towards zero, there is a precipitous increase in all-cause mortality and every single sub-cause of mortality, including heart disease. Sure, okay, just an association, but it's a pretty powerful one with data in the study I'm talking about. Not even a study, actually, it's just two data sets. 168 countries and territories around the world, over 1,000 million person years of follow-up. So that's probably worth taking seriously. There may be reasons behind it that we're not aware of, some of us, and as it turns out, spoiler, there are. However, maybe Gil is going to get into the nuance. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I know he's going to get this so badly ass-about-face wrong that it's going to be laughable, and I'm going to have another opportunity to call him a cock monkey. So off you go, cock monkey.
We see that consistently in large population studies.
Yep.
And so this has become a frequently asked question. So I decided to ask Dr. Chris Packard.
Never heard of him.
About this. He is professor of vascular biochemistry at the University of Glasgow.
Okay, so what? You know, people like to talk about their academic background or their academic credentials as if that gives them some kind of veracity. I do it myself. I'm guilty. Actually, I'm going to stop doing it now because, well, frankly, it's meaningless. It's been so diluted, it's so bastardized now that it's laughable. I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but have you guys seen the roast, the breakdown of Mike Israel's PhD thesis? Wow! I have never seen a worse piece. Look, if that was a first-year undergraduate student piece of work that was handed in to me, that person would get an F. Not a PhD. Okay? And this Chris Packard guy, if he's going to say cholesterols, though, well, his professorship doesn't mean dick, does it? Absolutely means dick. So I'm going to stop talking about my background. That's quite significant without being earth-shattering in any way. I was a middling academic for about 2 decades. But I'm going to stop that now because it's what actually is important here. Staff, boys and girls, super intelligent shades of the colour yellow and teddy bears that can't be found. Here's what's important. Saying things that are demonstrably correct or at least unassailable in terms of correctness, like so that no one can say, no, that's incorrect, factually. Nothing at all to do with credentials, academic rank, or peer esteem, frankly. It used to be that peer esteem and academic rank meant something. It doesn't anymore. Anyway, Chris Packard, who I've never heard of, tell us all about it.
And he's really one of the top experts on the planet on it.
According to whom, on the basis of what, Gil Carvalho? Who says who's the top expert in any given field? Who? I want a word with that person. Well, Ted does. Well, at least he would if he was here. Incredible.
Heart disease, cholesterol, and inflammation.
Ah, right, this guy's an expert on heart disease, cholesterol, and inflammation. I don't like him already. But let's see, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's hear it.
The cholesterol level and the mortality. This is still a frequently asked question.
Yeah.
There's an association between lower levels of cholesterol and actually within the normal range and a higher risk of mortality in some.
No, not risk, Gil Carvalho. There are no studies that can inform us on risk prospectively in any given living human being anywhere on the planet. These studies do not exist. If you think epidoodly diddly moodly moodlymology will do it, you're a fool, you're a buffoon, and you're a fuck monkey. Because no, epidoodly moodly moodlymology does not have the capacity to inform any person on their risk prospectively of anything. Neither do they actually have the capacity to inform on the risk in any societal group either. These are not studies that are able to get at risk, because risk is a cause and effect inference. It requires a mechanism underpinned by experimental science. Do you have any of those? Shall we wait? Right. No, you don't. So straight away, right off the bat, right out of the box, right out of his box, I should say, right off his tits.
Of these epidemiological studies.
There you go. No, Gil. No. Incompetent schoolboy interpretation of science there. If you think that health science epidemiology is able to inform us on risk, you are a fool, because it can't. Not at all.
And so a lot of people have taken that to mean that lowering cholesterol or even normalizing cholesterol causes risk of death.
Normal according to whom, on the basis of what? And no, Gil Carvalho, still not risk. No.
To go up. What's our scientific understanding of that?
Our scientific understanding. Who's our, Gil? Who's this our that you're talking about? And why are you asking this Chris, whatever his name is? Packard, wasn't it? Something like that. Who I've never heard of. So he can't be the world's top expert in anything, frankly. But okay, whatever.
It's cause and effect and cause.
All right, well, there you go. Your credibility is now busted, Chris Packard. There you go, right there. Cause and effect and cause, you say. There are no studies, still, that can inform us on cause nor effect as that relates to any hard health outcome in human beings, as it relates to anything else, actually. None. There are no experiments available. So what you're going to say from this point forward is your opinion, and you have failed singularly already to disclaim it as such. Leaning on your so-called authority as a professor and the leading health expert, according to Gil Carvalho, a boy with a PhD and an MD qualification, neither of which he's ever used, by the way. Not one single day in practice as a medic, and not one single peer-reviewed publication that I can find either. Oh well, what's next?
Having cancer lowers your cholesterol.
All right. Says whom? By what mechanism is that? I'm sure you'll elucidate. I hope you do. There is one. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying, if you're saying that, you probably need to outline the mechanism of it. What is? I can tell where he's going already, though. He's going reverse causality, though. That's what he's going to say. Basically, this is how ludicrous this whole argument is going to be from this Chris, whatever his name is. I can preempt it. Here it is. If your cholesterol is high, that absolutely causes heart disease. If your cholesterol is low, that is absolutely caused by disease. And disease lowers your cholesterol. Circular insanity. So what we're saying is everything on the right-hand side of the nadir point on the association curve is causal, even though it's not, and everything on the left is reverse causation because that suits your theological posit, your opinion statement. My word. My word. This is why I'm giving up on talking about my scientific credentials ever again. Maybe. I probably will.
All kinds of other diseases.
All kinds of other diseases lower your cholesterol as well. What's the mechanism of that? How is it that every single disease under the sun lowers your cholesterol? And if it does, wouldn't that be a pretty stern warning that lowered cholesterol, probably not great? No, just logic again. Sorry about that.
Your cholesterol. So, in other words,
Yep.
you have the disease, and that causes the low cholesterol.
Right, all kinds of diseases cause low cholesterol. Would that include heart disease, Chris? The very thing that you say is caused by high cholesterol? Whoops. Do you see how absolutely fucking ridiculous these clowns are, boys and girls? Do you see why I get so cross? Ted does. Well, he would if he was here.
The low cholesterol causing the disease.
So reverse causality, though. What an absolute fuck monkey this boy is, clearly. I shouldn't say boy, he's an old man. And clearly a paragon of health.
Again, I go back to the hard-nosed clinical trial evidence.
The hard what? Clinical trial evidence, you say? Would you like to cite that for us? Clinical evidence of anything?
That says in all these trials, in hundreds of thousands of people, lowering cholesterol to very low levels has no perceptible effect on non-cardiovascular death.
On non-cardiovascular death. Okay.
Cancers and anything else.
And anything else except cardiovascular. Interesting.
So these U-shaped associations that you see in all of the big populations are due to the fact that even having a hidden disease can cause
Good old hidden disease. Good.
you to have a low cholesterol.
Right, okay. Are we done with this clown? Right there? Because he's going to turn around in his next breath and say, yes, but if cholesterol's elevated, that's absolutely causal. You can't fucking have it both ways, can you?
And if you take individuals who are healthy, then
According to whom? On the basis of what? What is a healthy individual? I'm not looking at one right now, apparently. But that's just my opinion. Disclaimed as such. See how that's done?
that dip up at the bottom goes away, and you end up with a nice association.
A nice association. Good. I'm glad the association's nice. That's very scientific, Chris. Well done, Professor of something or other.
That is linear all the way down.
Well, linear. It was linear in the first place, apparently, with some noise, an R-squared value around it. It was curvilinear. So we're having some issues, aren't we? We are having some issues. Goodness gracious, already. What have you got to say, Stompenbest? To be honest, I like watching some of Bart K's vid about acids or the one about cardiophysiology. The one, I've done many about that. These types of vids are repetitive as these soyists use the same nonsense argument. Yeah, that's exactly right. They are repetitive, and I do have the same arguments. The reason I have the same arguments is because they are yet to be remotely assailed by anybody. There are people that say, I don't agree with Bart K, and people are entitled to disagree with me if they want to. Of course, that's hate speech, because I've identified it as such, and you must accept my identity of that as hate speech, or else you're full of hate, and that's also hate speech. Nonetheless, I use the same arguments again and again and again because they're still correct. And these idiots that come up with this absolute postulous, ridiculous, excremental garbage are still wrong. And it gives me something to do. Right. Okay, go on, Chris. Tell us all about it.
To very low levels. So the negative association of low cholesterol with other diseases is driven by the other diseases, not the low.
You don't know that for a fact. Driven by is a cause and effect statement. It requires experimental evidence that that is so. Do you have any of that, Chris? No? Okay. So that's your opinion.
Cholesterol.
So Professor Packard is explaining that many chronic diseases.
Gil, we heard what he fucking said. Dickhead. We have a set of ears. We can hear what he said. You don't need to repeat it. It was fucking ridiculous. We don't need you to say it again, because that's not going to make it any less fucking ridiculous, is it?
These is lower cholesterol levels. This includes severe malnutrition, critical physical illness,
So that's pretty wide ranging, isn't it?
malabsorption,
Of what?
liver disease, blood disorders,
Like what? There's 3 of them listed there. Do you mean every single one or just those 3?
cancers, infections, and on and on.
Yes, on and on, just like you, Gil Carvalho. On and on, without a single thing to recommend any of your ridiculous fucking ideas. Yep.
This is for several reasons. First, when people are sick, they tend to eat less and they tend to lose weight, and that causes cholesterol to drop.
Right. Do you have any evidence to support that claim, or is that just your opinion as well?
Also, these diseases can affect absorption in the gut. So
Of what? Cholesterol? That's a shame for you though, Gil, because cells are quite capable of generating all the cholesterol they need themselves, aren't they? From acetyl coenzyme A, the first intermediary of the TCA cycle. Just like I was talking about earlier today in my earlier live stream. So there goes that one.
less cholesterol gets absorbed in the first body.
Less cholesterol gets absorbed, so therefore it goes down? No, son, not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. What's this? Did Gil listed veganism as the disease which lowered cholesterol? Malnutrition, yes. So that causes more death, according to him. No, I don't know. I don't know what Gil thinks, really. All I can do is react to what he says. Right, what's next?
And finally, diseases like cancer
Diseases like cancer. How many diseases like cancer are there?
suck up cholesterol from the blood. The actual cancer cells take up a lot of cholesterol from the bloodstream to support their rapid growth and multiplication.
I
So
see.
for all these reasons, it's common to see in people who have these chronic diseases, cholesterol levels slowly drift down with time. And
Right, okay. Well, see, even Brian thinks this is nonsense. Brian the rooster.
Professor Packard also referred to clinical trial evidence.
We heard him, Gil, for fuck's sake. We were there, remember?
So just show you one example of that real quick. So this large study looked at 26 randomized trials.
Oh, right, well, that's the word they've used wrong. Because randomization is universally done very poorly in such studies. I'm glad they haven't used the word control, because they've probably made no attempt at that whatsoever. And as such, there are confounds, covariates, and collinearities that absolutely destroy the veracity of this paper and its ability to speak at all to cause and effect, doesn't it, Gil? Whoops, that's a shame for you.
Where cholesterol was
See that? I didn't even have to read the fucking thing. Within 2 seconds, we're done with it. It's nonsense. It's theology. There are no fucking experiments, Gil.
lowered with medication. So if lowering cholesterol raises risk of dying, then these
Well, hang on a minute. Collinearities, covariates, confounders, not controlled. We're done, Gil. You fucking idiot. You schoolboy.
people who have their cholesterol lowered should die more, right? Well, we see exactly the opposite. Not only was there a reduction in major vascular events,
Gee, I wonder why that is when you give someone a statin medication. I don't. I actually know why. There is an association there. Serendipitously, and nothing to do with cholesterol, statins have an anti-inflammatory effect, at least short term, for the first X amount of time. Not very long before they start to actually become pro-inflammatory. It's nothing to do with cholesterol. Nothing at all. The same for PCSK9 inhibitors. They're anti-inflammatory in the short term. At its root etiology, its root underpinning cause, one of the absolutely required facets for heart disease to develop is inflammation. You can achieve the same thing by giving someone a non-metabolic toxin that's also anti-inflammatory. Okay, we're done with that. So again, confounds, collinearities, covariates that Gil Carvalho, A, has no study that controls because there isn't one, and B, clearly Gil Carvalho does not understand this. Otherwise he'd know that that's what the problem was. Gil Carvalho does not understand the pharmacology of those 2 drug classes. There it is, right there on the screen. Because he's just going to brush past this and say, oh, look, you give people statins and there's a reduction in events. There's no surprise there. That's what's expected.
It's like heart attacks and strokes, but all-cause mortality, which means total deaths, were reduced. So these people...
Reduced, yeah. Did all-cause mortality include the heart attacks that you've already counted? Or is that separate? Because if it is separated, then it's not all-cause mortality. And if it is all-cause mortality, then it's not fucking passed out, is it? It's still in there. It's the same data set. Imbecile. Oh, this would be funny if Ted was here.
are living longer. And this is largely due to reductions in deaths due to coronary heart disease.
Due to? How do you know? Because it's not passed out? Because the all-cause mortality data is still the same data set as the one you've just spoken about? Fuck me, Gil. Please don't. I'm not that sort of boy. Neither is Ted.
Whereas there was no change in death.
Although Ted does like a good knob twiddle. He loves it when he's here to do it. No wonder I'm so grumpy this afternoon. I haven't had my knobs twiddled today.
Deaths due to cancer or other non-vascular causes. So lowering cholesterol reduces the risk of dying.
No, you just said risk there, Gil, and you're wrong, because there are no studies that can inform any person on risk or any group of people on risk, especially not epidemiology studies. They do not have that ability. They are so-called prospective studies, but they actually have no capacity to inform anybody on their prospects. None at all. Sorry about that. It's not science. I'd happily debate that with you if you'd actually have the set to front up to me so that we can debate this and we can put this one to bed. Okay? It's a fact. I'm sorry about that. Epidemiology cannot inform on anyone's prospective risk of anything. Sorry.
Heart disease,
Not sorry.
cardiovascular diseases, doesn't seem to affect the risk of dying of other causes.
Effect is the conjugate of what? Oh yes, cause, which requires experimental science to underpin such a claim, which still doesn't exist, so pop yourself directly back to fuck. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. In fact, don't collect any money from the YouTubes at all, because basically you're a purveyor of disinformation, Gil, and a buffoon, and an incompetent buffoon, without the first fucking clue of what you're talking about. How's that?
Causes that are not vascular. And so the net effect is a lower total risk of death. Yeah.
No. There are no studies that can inform on risk still.
I saw one study that adjusted for malnutrition.
And therefore it did not report what was observed, even because that's what adjustment is. It's adjusting what you observed and reporting something that you did not observe. Scientists, Gil, report what they observed. Pseudoscientists, anti-scientists, crackpots and charlatans report something that they did not even observe, and then claim it's a cause and effect relationship, even though it's fabricated. Wow. Ellen Reed, thank you very much for the 20 New Zealand dollars. Ted needs a coffee. Yes, he does. Well, he would if he was here to enjoy it. But Ted has not been seen at the camouflage training. Please, if anybody knows anything about Ted and his whereabouts, do sing out. Oh, no, he isn't. All right, okay. Anyway, enough melodrama.
And
Pantomime.
that was enough, if I remember correctly, that was enough to eliminate that tail that goes up. So that's pretty striking. Just malnutrition alone, I guess, in the context of cancer or some of these chronic diseases of old age.
Oh, there you go. Cancer and malnutrition are diseases of old age. I wonder if Professor Chris knows anything about malnutrition or old age.
Yeah, that kind of brought that tail to the null range.
Watch what eggs do to your brain.
Oh, here we go.
Take a look at these two brain scans.
Yep.
They both look young, strong, and healthy.
Yep.
But only one of them is young. The other is the brain of a 97-year-old woman.
I see.
Her secret? Doing this one simple thing each night before bed. I'm not sure if this might interest you.
No, well, you'd be right.
I
It
was
doesn't.
referring to
It does not interest us. We're done with that. Right, what's next?
this study where they saw the death risk go up.
No, they didn't. No, there are no studies that can inform on risk still, Gil Carvalho. Not one anywhere in the literature. They do not exist still. Fuck's sake, son. How hard is this to understand? Who is this bellend? Good question. He's an absolute imbecile. You're quite right, Field Marshal DC of the Meat Militia. An absolute fucksplat, a cockmonkey of the highest order, an ignorant Dunning-Kruger sufferer of the highest order. And if Ted was here, he would say the same. Only I have not seen Ted for some time. Dave, can you help? Where's Ted? Have you seen Ted? He's got the shits with me. He's hiding at the camouflage training. All right, go on then. Tell us about risk, though, Gil, you fucking idiot.
As the cholesterol got lower. They're looking at
Oh, my fucking God. Before you even say anything about this, Gil Carvalho, let's have a look at this, shall we? Let's have a look. What are we looking at here? We are looking at a signal with so much fucking noise around it that it's absolute fucking ridiculous joke. Any remotely competent statistician would take one look at that, as I've just done, and laugh his tits off, as I would do if I had any tits. Fuck's sake. Oh, God, when does this end? When I die, perhaps.
HDL cholesterol, which is basically all the cholesterol except for HDL. But it's
all the cholesterol is the exact fucking identical thing, you fuck monkey. It only comes in one form. God's sake.
the same logic as LDL or total cholesterol, all the same principle. As the cholesterol level gets lower and actually into the normal range.
Who's to say what's normal? I wish that I was normal, just the same as you. No, I don't wish I was the same as you. Should I dress myself up formal? You're all singing it in your heads now, aren't you? You're welcome.
Death risk shoots up.
No, not fucking risk, you cock monkey. No. There are still no studies that can inform us on risk. Not one anywhere still. Wow. Hello, Alan Jones. Yes, it is. It is awesome. It's indeed very awesome. We're basically swearing at people who are cock monkeys, bell ends, cock lunches, fuck splats, which would be Gil Carvalho and his mate, Professor Chris, whatever the fuck his name is. Packard, I think it was. Go on, though. Oh, for fuck's sake, are you serious? This is the second time today I've had this fucking problem. Hitting the wrong buttons. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Let's find it again. Talk amongst yourselves while I find my spot. Does anybody know where my spot was? I don't. I'm going to cry. I'm glad Ted wasn't here to see this carry on. He'd be so embarrassed. Really? Huh? How far in were we, guys? I don't remember any of this bit. I was too busy. Anyway, adjusting for malnutrition. We were about there somewhere. Go on.
Risk of death. Yeah,
no.
I saw one study that adjusted for malnutrition.
Yeah, there we go.
And that was enough, if I remember correctly, that was enough to eliminate that tail that goes up.
Yeah, right. So if anyone isn't sure what I'm talking about, if you adjust an outcome in a prospective study from what it was to anything else, you are fabricating data. That is academic misconduct of the highest order. It's based on the assumption that a multivariate regression is able to pass out cause and effect, which it isn't. Because the first assumption of such a mathematical procedure is that none of your cofactors share any collinearity whatsoever. Whoops. The first assumption. Busted. Right there. Okay? Simple as that. Yeah. All right. Carry on.
So that's pretty striking. Just malnutrition alone, I guess, in the context of cancer or some of these chronic diseases of old age. Yeah, that.
So what you're saying there, Gil, is that people who are malnourished have an insufficiency of cholesterol? We knew that. And they die more often than people who are not malnourished. From everything except heart disease, you say, which is actually not true, because when you look at the data set put together by the British Heart Foundation and the World Health Organization, both very credible organizations, but nonetheless, they collected this data, 168 countries and territories around the world, over 1,000 million person user follow-up. They found a precipitous increase in the rate of death from all causes and from every major sub-cause, with the reduction of total cholesterol below 220 milligrams per deciliter in the plasma. All causes of mortality, Gil, all of them. Okay? 100 and something countries and territories, 1,000 million plus person user follow-up. Sure, it's just associative, but that's a pretty large sample set, isn't it? Okay?
Kind of brought that tail to the null range. So here I was referring to this study where they saw the death risk go up.
No, they didn't. We covered that before. The echo's good in here, isn't it? It's Ted's fault for not being here.
As the cholesterol got low.
If Ted was here, he would have taken care of all of this for me. Or indeed, if I had a co-host that could regularly help me co-host and was willing to do so. Is anybody out there who would like to be my co-host regularly on my channel? I'd like someone with a few clues of what they're talking about, if that's possible. I'd like you to have some kind of engaging personality, or at least something that would get a visceral response from the audience in some way. Perhaps don't try and copy me. You have your own way of doing things, absolutely. If you're not too hard to look at, that might be handy. I don't care what gender you are, neither does Ted. Anyway, it's out there, maybe. Yeah, DC could be in that. There you go. Field Marshal DC of the Meat Militia. Will you be in uniform, Dave, when you show up for that? Will you be AWOL or will you be here on site? Pussy. I'm kidding. Love you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Looking at non-HDL cholesterol, which is basically all the cholesterol except for HDL, but it's the same logic as LDL or total cholesterol, all the same principle as the cholesterol level.
Right, so this graph here, as I said before, shows absolutely dick about fuck. It shows nothing whatsoever. The noise around the signal here is so wide that it's laughable. Fuck right off, Gil. What's next?
Gets lower and lower and actually into the...
No, it fucking doesn't. Look at the noise around that signal. See the upper 95% confidence limit there? It suggests that potentially it doesn't do any such thing. The lower bound is what I mean, not the higher one. Goodness gracious.
Normal range, death risk shoots up.
No, not risk still.
So this is the raw data. Now when they adjust for age...
Right, so when they fabricate the data and adjust it from what it actually is and make it say something else that they want it to say on the basis of the factors that they decide to put into the multivariate regression, ignoring the first assumption of multivariate regression, which is, again, kids, shall we say it together? The factors in a multivariate regression must not share any collinearity whatsoever. Hey, Stewie! You were here before anyway. You're still here. Love the $10. Appreciate those. And yes, we do love cricket. Cricket starts in 2 weeks for me in third grade old men's or young players cricket, mostly old men. Hit and giggle, really. 40 overs aside. Have a beer afterwards. A low-carb beer, of course. Or a non-alcoholic one these days for me, I think. I think I need to do something about the alcohol intake. After cricket, that is, for half the year.
And also a number of pre-existing diseases. Then it looked like this. That rise in death.
Right, so when they adjusted it from what it was to something that it wasn't, on the basis of ignoring the first assumption of the procedure that they've used to do that, thus invalidating it, they've come up with a fabricated data set which is an absolute fucking fantasy, doesn't exist in the real world, and as such, its value or utility is what, boys and girls? 2/3 of 7/9 of 5/12 of fuck all. What's next?
That we saw on the left of the previous graph, that's all or virtually all gone.
All gone.
That's
all gone. Just like Ted, he's all gone. I can't find him. Dave, can you help me?
saying,
Help me, Davy One Kenobi. You're my only help. Hope. Goodness gracious, I don't even have any words left. I've used them all.
it was older people and sicker people who showed that trend of increasing death risk on lower.
No, nobody showed any risk of anything ever in any of these studies still, Gil. None of these studies inform on risk still. Okay? Let's all say it together. These studies cannot inform on risk. What do you mean, howdy, Ted? I haven't seen Ted for ages, Josephine. Where is Ted? Ted has not been seen at the camouflage training.
Normal cholesterol. Then they adjust it for
Ah, right, so they're fabricated.
malnutrition status, and it comes down even more.
Ah,
and then
good.
adjust for everything, all the
Oh,
factors.
adjusting for everything. Well, fuck, let's just do that. Awesome. Awesome. I love statistics. Statistical inference. I love it because it means I can understand how ridiculous this fuckery is that these clowns are putting forward here. Wow.
As we mentioned so far, all together, and it's pretty much a perfect straight line up. The higher
Ah, is it? A perfect straight line? That looks curvilinear to me, so it's not a perfect straight line or even close to it. And once again, Gil, shall we look at the fucking noise around this fucking signal, shall we? It's the tan area between the dotted lines. It shows us that your estimate is so noisy as to be, well, laughable, really. It's noisier than the farm out there. Bah, 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 crocodile fucking do and stuff. Moo and shit. Right? Just the other day I was leaning over the fence. I was watching the cows and one of them said, moo. And the other one says, I was going to say that, bitch. Anyway.
the cholesterol level, the higher the risk of death. So basically,
On yonder hill there stood a cow. He must have moved for his new than new.
in people who already have a chronic disease or who are malnourished,
Ah, yes, let's repeat ourselves again, because that'll make it much, much clearer to people who are stupid enough to watch your ridiculous fucking videos, Gil. They need things repeated because they're too fucking stupid to hear it the first time and understand it the first time. Good.
low cholesterol correlates with higher risk of death.
No, it doesn't, because there are no studies that can inform us on risk still. Still wrong, Gil. Yes, I am a master. Join me. I will complete your training. Something, something dark side. Something, something complete. Good, good. Let your hate make you powerful. And stuff. Right, carry on.
People who don't have those in healthy individuals, the higher the cholesterol level, the higher the risk of death.
No, wrong. False. Still.
Here's another way to look at the same data.
Ah, yes, let's look at the same data, the same bastardized, made-up data in a different way. That'll make it all the clearer that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Gil.
So raw data, no adjustments.
Oh, good. Good, yep.
Risk of death.
No, wrong again. Still, even if you don't adjust, it still can't inform on risk. Because risk is still a cause and effect statement and not an associative artifact. I mean, a lot of things associate with a lot of things, don't they, Gil? Like sunburn and attacks by sharks on any given day. Like videos made by Gil Carvalho and me calling Gil Carvalho an absolutely ignorant fucking cock trumpet. Those two things are highly correlated. Those two things are cause and effect. Because, Gil, you're a fucking cock trumpet. You're a mindless fucking imbecile. How's that? What's next?
Lower cholesterol.
Yeah, no.
To the right of that vertical line is higher risk.
See how it says risk, despite the fact that this is associative work and cannot inform on risk. Isn't that good?
Of death. When you adjust for age and pre-existing chronic disease,
Ah, adjusting again. Good, good. So we're fabricating.
there's no significant effect.
Ah, well, look at that. Look at that. When you make something up, it's different from when you report what was actually observed. Can't believe it.
Lower cholesterol, and then when you adjust for malnutrition status, lower risk of death,
Yeah, no, still nothing to do with risk whatsoever. Still.
lower cholesterol.
Whose risk, Gil? Mine? Yours? Grant Floss? Lord Edward Yellow, the strangely absent, strangely completely camouflaged bear? Whose risk are you talking about? And on the basis of what? fucking idiot.
And you adjust for everything at the same time, similar result. But yeah, I think the strongest argument is, like you said, the randomized trials.
Gil Carvalho just said think, referring to himself. Incredible.
And then the genetics also. And then in the genetics, same as the randomized trials, if anything, we see lower mortality with lower cholesterol. And the randomized trials, when we look at meta-analyses, same thing. We tend to see lower mortality. So
You just said that, Gil. Remember 2 seconds ago. It was wrong the first time you said it 2 seconds ago, and it's still wrong now. There are no randomized control trials on this. They do not exist, boy. Still.
Don't see how...
The words that are falsely used in such studies that claim to be randomized and controlled are randomized and controlled. Because neither of those things are in effect. It's pseudoscience, anti-science, actually, dressed up to look like science, to fool people who are stupid enough to suck that lollipop.
That could be cause and effect from the epidemiological studies.
Gil Carvalho just said cause and effect and epidemiological studies in the same sentence. That's all you need to know about this absolute fuck monkey. Cock trumpet. Not bonbon. Ridiculous, incompetent fucking imbecile. No idea about science whatsoever. None.
So here we're referring to clinical trials. We already touched on those. And also...
Which clinical trials were those that you touched on? The ones that showed signals that are so noisy as to be laughable and that weren't well randomized nor well controlled. Those ones, Gil. Perhaps you'd like to bring them to me for a debate. We can debate as many studies as you like. In minute detail, we can go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and I'll show you what's wrong with them within minutes for each one. Okay, here's a challenge for you.
Genetics. So
But first you'll have to grow a fucking set.
there are genetic studies where they look at people who have low cholesterol from birth. Right? So it's genetic.
Genetic studies. Right. Show me a Mendelian study, Gil Carvalho, where they actually measured anybody's cholesterol even once. Shall we wait for that? Perhaps you've been listening to Richard Burgess, who's clearly much more of an expert about this than I am, because he can bench press 415 pounds, based on his assumption, his belief, his unshakable belief that because they're reporting on cholesterol, they must have measured it. No, they fucking didn't. Still, Richard. Not once. What they did is they took a bunch of people with given genetic SNPs, and on the basis of those SNPs, they asserted what that person's LDL was likely to be, according to them, and accepted that that's what it in fact was, without measuring it. That's some good sciencing, isn't it, kids? How's that for great science? Do you like it? That's what they did. Despite the fact, sure it's N=1, but I'm sure it's probably applicable, Nick Norwitz, even though he's a fucking idiot too, he showed that he could change his LDL hugely within several days by just changing his diet. Did that change his genes at all? Changing his diet? No? Still the same gene set? Whoopsie! My God! You must think we're really fucking stupid, Gil. Or maybe you're really fucking stupid. Maybe you're as stupid as Richard Burgess, and that's fucking saying something, isn't it? Right, what's next?
Genetically determined. And so if having low cholesterol kills, if it raises risk of dying, then these people should die more.
Ah, right. Well, that's good logicking, because that completely fails to understand that someone's outcomes, in terms of hard outcomes like dying or not, is a rich tapestry of many, many different factors. Isn't it, Gil? Not just their cholesterol levels. You can't get eggs out of a baked cake. This is a rich tapestry. Someone's hard outcomes. You're not doing yourself any favours, son. A lot of people say I don't do myself any favours by presenting myself the way I do online. Fuck them. What's next?
But we see exactly the opposite. They die less and they live longer. And
Both of those things. Right.
this study...
By the way, that you're talking about there, the rate of death, is that adjusted, or did they actually report what they observed, or did they adjust it based on, I don't know, things like age. Because someone's risk of dying and their age is not collinear with any other proposed factor, is it? Ergo, not an absolute breach of the first assumption of multilinear regression at all, Gil? Earth to Gil, are you there, son? No? Okay. When is this clown going to shut the fuck up and pull his fucking arrogant head in? When's that going to happen?
Example, people with higher genetically determined ApoB.
So they can't adjust their ApoB by changing their diet, Gil? Seems they can. There's the end of that. What's next?
Or LDL cholesterol.
LDL is not cholesterol, Gil. Never has been, never will be. LDL and cholesterol are not the same thing. I know you need things said more than once to understand them. How's that? You don't even know that, clearly.
They had more coronary disease, that's expected.
Did they? Or was that adjusted? I.e. fabricated?
But also...
Look at that word risk there again. No?
Higher all-cause mortality, so total deaths.
Was that adjusted or what was actually observed?
And cardiovascular deaths.
Right. Adjusted? Was it, Gil? No? Okay.
And that effect was dose dependent. So...
What? What does that mean, Gil? Dose dependent. What was the noise around that signal? Because we've already seen that you don't understand signal-to-noise ratio issues quite clearly, haven't we? Tell us about the noise around that signal, this dose dependence that you're talking about. Start with telling us what the actual regression sum was so that we know what the utility of it is likely to be. No? Okay.
They're dying more over the period.
You just fucking said that, even though it was wrong the first time you said it. Doesn't actually change the fact that it was still wrong, and it doesn't need fucking repeating.
Of observation, they're dying younger than folks who don't have
Christ on the bicycle.
high genetic ApoB or LDL cholesterol.
I mean, with many
LDL is still not cholesterol, you buffoon.
reasons to suspect and know that it is the disease that's causing the low cholesterol.
Right. Well, give us your reasons to suspect or know. Which is it, Chris?
Or one aspect of the disease. If you've got cancer, you don't eat, and if you don't eat, your cholesterol.
Oh, there you go, Dave. Did you know that? If you have cancer, you don't eat. Thanks, Chris. I didn't know that. Holy fuck. Seriously?
Goes down. If you've got other diseases, you don't eat so well.
Oh, right. So every disease in the world makes you not eat so well. Oh, really? How about disordered overeating? That's a disease. Does disordered overeating make you eat less, Chris? Wow.
Cholesterol goes down, or you lose body weight, or you lose mass, and your cholesterol goes down. It's just one of these things.
Oh, really? Every time you lose body mass or weight, your cholesterol goes down? Does that mean every time I take a shit, my cholesterol goes down? What about if I had my arm amputated? Would that cause my cholesterol to go down? If anything, it would fucking go up in response to that, wouldn't it, Chris? Do you even engage your brain before you open your mouth, son? Professor? Oh. Shit. Wow. Okay.
That happens. Cholesterol is in nutrition.
This fucking old clown, Dave, is a professor, apparently, of something to do with cardiovascular disease, cholesterol, and whatever else at the University of Glasgow. Well done, University of Glasgow. You've got some really credible folks there. There's not a hint of sarcasm there. Just the facts. What is next? I don't know. What is next? Shall we wait? Adjusted. LDL is not cholesterol. It's a construct. These are amongst my favourite baptisms. Oh, really? Does Cocklunch or Fuck Monkey not make the list, Ron? That's disappointing. Yeah. Yeah, Dave, this guy knows more about cancer than you do, apparently. Did you know that you don't eat if you've got cancer? Did you know that? Tell you what, it's not a bad day for just the Scots. Fuck me, you know what's going on in the UK? Those of you that don't, you should be following UK politics right now. It's absolutely incredible what's going on there. Jesus, did George Orwell have it right? Did he fucking nail it? Wow, he just got the year wrong that it was going to happen. It's as if those clowns from the UK Labour Party have fucking read 1984 and said, you know, fuck it. Let's do that, exactly. Pretty much. Yeah. Right, okay, good.
Indicator. That's where the malnutrition comes in, as well as an indicator of risk of heart.
Hello.
You're busy.
Yeah, I'm just doing yet more live streaming because people continue to be wrong on the interwebs. You wouldn't believe it. I'm nearly done though with this one. Fucking unbelievable. Huh? Okay.
Just going to report on the fruit situation.
Okay, good. I'll come and see you straight after this then. Yeah.
Just have to shove it in and she likes it.
Shove it in and she loves it. Good.
Shoving the banana in and she likes it.
That's what she said. Shove the banana in, she'll love it. That's what Pim just said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not telling who I'm talking about though.
Well, we'll talk about that later maybe. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, okay, go on, Chris.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing is that other parameters have the same association. So I've seen for blood pressure, for BMI, for glucose, same thing. Once you get in these large epidemiological studies without adjustments, once you get into the normal to low range, you see this tail of mortality going up for all of these things. But that doesn't mean you want your glucose to be high, your blood pressure to be high. It has to be that there's an underlying...
So are you suggesting that not all associations have anything to do with cause and effect, Gil? Fuck me, did you say something sensible? If Ted was here, he'd fall off his chair. I'm sure he would.
Disease causing these things to be lower.
Sick people get low cholesterol.
Causing, you say. No, there are still no cause and effect inferences that we can go to anywhere in the literature as regards any hard health outcome of any kind in human beings as it relates to any aspect of any of the stuff you're talking about here, Gil Carvalho. Still, never stop being so crude. I think there's very little risk of that. A, because people won't stop being quite so fucking ignorant, Dunning-Kruger, arrogant and wrong on the interwebs. They won't stop being quite so fucking stupid. And secondly, I'm a bit typecast now. If I don't do this and I just come online and I wear a collar and tie and just do science, people go, what the fuck is this? They don't want to see it. Oh, well. Never mind. Carry on.
Here's an example of what I mean. This is a really powerful visual.
No, it fucking isn't. Look at the fucking noise around these fucking signals. Look at them. For a start, you haven't even got an indicator on this chart that we can see that tells us what those error ranges even are. Are they standard errors? Are they standard deviations? What are they? There is no way to gauge the true value of signal to noise around this. But if you take the most modest of what they could possibly be here, these signals are still as noisy as fuck. You can tell that just by looking at them, for Christ's sake. Wow. Incredible.
So the black curve with that gray shade, right, black and gray, that's cholesterol.
No, it isn't. It says LDL cholesterol, which does not fucking exist, Gil. Doesn't exist. There's no such thing as LDL cholesterol. What they're talking about there is the proportion of total cholesterol which they assert was carried by the LDL carrier. That cholesterol being the exact same molecule as the cholesterol carried by the HDL or any other of the lipoprotein classes. To which I guess we have to respond, therefore, so fucking what? And if we look at these error bars here, There is really no meaningful difference of any kind throughout the entire range there to speak of. All right? All right, so that's that one done. What's next?
LDL cholesterol. So
No, it still doesn't exist.
it kind of makes the shape of the letter U.
We can fucking see what it looks like, Gil, for goodness sake. Again, I realise that you're talking to people who are fucking stupid.
So with very high cholesterol, we see more.
Very high cholesterol on the basis of what, according to whom? What is very high cholesterol? Very scientific, Gil.
Death, and then in the middle.
No, there's nothing that can inform us on risk of death. No. At least not in terms of cholesterol or any of these things that you're talking about. Tell you what, I mean, there are things that can inform us on the risk of death for various things, like you jump out of an aeroplane at 10,000 feet without a parachute, the likelihood of death is near 100%, isn't it? If not 100%. Okay? But the risk of death, as that relates to the level of the cholesterol in your blood carried by any of the lipoproteins, well, no. There's nothing there worth talking about at all, in fact.
Kind of middle range of cholesterol, maybe a little bit high. We see the lowest death, and then with low cholesterol or no.
But that's reverse, remember though, that's reverse causality. Gil, on the left, it's not a causal graph, but on the right, it is. Because that theologically suits you. Nothing to do with science, whatever, but it does suit your theology, so let's just espouse that ridiculous, farcical, nonsensical comedy piece. Again, shall we? On the right of that black dotted line, the vertical one, that's causal, but on the left it's not. Oh, Jesus. Seriously?
Normal cholesterol even, we see high death again. It goes up again. We already looked at what happens when you adjust these curves for malnutrition. Or
Yes. What you do when you adjust the curve is you get a fantasy that was not observed. Ergo, it has no utility of any kind. Especially considering that the adjustment procedure requires you to ignore the first assumption of that procedure, i.e. collinearity. Okay, what's next?
or chronic disease. But here's the same curve.
No, it isn't. That's quite a different curve. Can you see how that's different from the one you've just been pointing to? Nonetheless, it's still as noisy as fuck.
For hemoglobin A1C. That's glycated hemoglobin, so an average of glucose level.
See how the range is, while it's still as noisy as fuck, the range here is much wider? And as such, there might be something to see here.
That's the red and pink curve. It also makes a sort of a U or a V, right?
Again, because we don't have eyes in our head, Gil, and we can't see that for ourselves.
The lowest point, where you see the lowest mortality, this is about 6.5% hemoglobin A1C.
Right. So if your A1C is 6.5 or below, job's a good one, it seems. Unless you ask somebody who thinks they know something about diabetes. I have a client that I've been speaking to in the last couple of weeks who has been misinformed badly by her physician, and her A1C came back above 5.7, just slightly above 5.7, and the doctor diagnosed her with type 2 diabetes without ever giving her a continuous glucose monitor and telling her to go and monitor her glucose over the next 24 to 48 hours to see whether it's actually spiking and troughing, which it wasn't, because I asked her to do that and she didn't. She said, oh, it stayed in range the whole time. Well, job's a good one then, I said. Fire your doctor. Before you do, call him an ignorant tosspot. All right, what's next?
That's diabetes and pre-diabetes.
No, that's not diabetes. No, it isn't at all. Diabetes, Gil, is elevated blood glucose chronically, not A1C. See how that's different? Okay, good. What's next?
Range.
Because there are a number of reasons why a person on a carnivore diet might have an elevated A1C. Nothing to do with poor blood glucose control. In fact, you might see that there's some pretty good inferences out there with regard to the lifespan of red blood cells on a carnivore diet, which tends to invalidate the A1C test entirely, actually. The important thing is time in range on your blood glucose. So put on a continuous blood glucose monitor for 24 to 48 hours, at least, and get some good data to inform yourself. Don't go to your ridiculous, farcical, ignorant fucking physician and get a one-off blood test on one occasion that comes back and says your A1C is above what they think it should be, and then they diagnose you with a disease that you don't fucking have. Awesome. Awesome. Love it.
So lower than that, so normal glucose levels, normal hemoglobin A1C levels, we see higher risk of death.
Oh, there you go. Eat your glucose, kids. That's what he's going to say next, isn't it? Because it might suit him theologically to say that, ergo, this is causal because it's in line with his theology, even though the exact same thing on the left of the deer line in the black and grey one was not causal because it wasn't in line with his theology.
That's anyone who's healthy. I'm much lower than this. So it's the same.
Are you healthy though, Gil? And if so, says whom? And on what basis do they say that?
Exact phenomenon, the same exact curves that we see with cholesterol.
No, they're not the same exact curves. You see they're quite different curves. You see how all three curves on this chart are quite different from one another, Gil? Even though you're at pains to tell us what we can see, because we're all blind or stupid or both. But now you're telling us that these two things are the same when they're fucking not. Good, good.
And the last one is blood pressure, the purple
good.
curve.
Oh, good.
Same exact thing.
No, it's not the same exact thing at all. See how it's quite different from the other two?
Sort of a U or sort of a V.
Oh, fuck, really, is it? That surprises me.
The lowest point is about maybe 130, 140 millimeters mercury. This is systolic blood pressure.
Right.
But this isn't a very good blood pressure. Recommended now is under 120.
Oh, recommended by whom? On the basis of what?
140 is already like stage 2 hypertension.
According to whom? On the basis of what? Because we've already seen how good the allopathic medicinal community is at making decisions about who they should pathologize and who they shouldn't. Haven't we? If you're not sure what I'm talking about, rewind this video about 5 minutes and listen again, because you missed it. Fuck me, are you serious?
So these curves are showing that everybody below that, which is considered healthy blood pressure, have higher risk of dying.
No, it doesn't say anything of the sort, Gil. None of these charts say anything about anybody's risk of anything, under any circumstances still. How is it that you are so fucking stupid? How is that possible? Shall we wait? Gil Carvalho, you are invited cordially to come and explain to my audience how it is that it's possible you could be so fucking ignorant and so stupid as you patently are. Risk, you say? Whose risk, Gil? Mine? Yours? Or that teddy bear that's been missing for the whole show? God, I'm going to give him what for when I find him. He's been good, though, at the camouflage training, hasn't he?
So is the conclusion here that we should try to have high blood pressure?
No, the conclusion is associative data can inform us in no way, shape or form on our prospects in any way, shape or form, and as such, the utility of such adjusted studies, Gil, is none. And can we get back to talking about some actual science at any stage? Or even get to talking about some science at any stage? Or would you rather crap on about risk, even though there are no studies that can inform us on risk? Still.
And high glucose levels and be hypertensive and be diabetic? Of course not. These curves are an artifact of old age and chronic disease.
Oh, right. So you have studied the individual data points of every person in each one of those prospective studies, have you, Gil? And you can inform us reliably, absolutely, as to who was in which category for age or health status in some way. Can you? No, you fucking can't. Not at all. Ridiculous.
And malnutrition in those settings. Most people who die in our society tend to be older, and they often have the...
Shit, there you go. Incredible. Most people who die tend to be older. All right. So would that make age collinear with every single possible cause of death? Ergo, you cannot adjust any prospective cohort data for age and remain valid because you have breached the first assumption of multivariate regression, which is that none of the factors share any collinearity whatsoever. Thank you very much, Gil. We are done. You're a fucking idiot. Thank you, Feral Grandma. Love you. There's nothing you can do about it. $10. Another good one. And love to Pim. I'll pass that on. Yeah. Very good. Indeed. Unbelievable, isn't it, Dave? Unbelievable how badly some people have lost their way or never had their way in the first place.
These diseases, they have cancers, they have infections, they have frailty, they lose weight, and so that causes their blood pressure.
No, cause, you said, that's the conjugate, isn't it, of effect. Cause and effect. Needs experimental data, Gil. Have you got any of that? No still? Okay, fuck right off again. Straight back to fuck. No passing go, no collecting any YouTube money.
Pressure and their glucose and their cholesterol to come down during that disease stage or that old age, more frail stage, and that creates this association between these lower markers.
You forgot about collinearity though, didn't you, Gil? And now you're talking about cause and effect where you can not establish it. Fuck off.
And death. We know it's not cause and effect because
wow. You just said it is. That's the inference you've been making the whole time.
if you lower glucose or blood pressure or cholesterol with healthy lifestyle.
What's that, Gil? According to whom? On what basis? Because according to you, a healthy lifestyle is eating a mixed macronutrient diet which is balanced in some way, whatever the fuck that means, and to take drugs which artificially lower a parameter in your blood which is set by your genetics to the exact level it ought to be for your best outcome likelihood, it seems. Is that a healthy lifestyle? Because you said so? No, it isn't.
Or with medication in people who need it.
Ah! Well, there you go. New member. We love new members here. Welcome to the Meat Militia. So lost, she's found. Good, you've been found. You're here in the camouflage training session where Ted has not been found or seen. Ted's good at camouflage, isn't he? He's among the best. Among the best. All hail Ted. Omnes ursi adori debent. That's one of the Latin things that you'll find on the crest of the independent sovereign nation of Pimbatia, which is where we live here, which basically means everybody must worship the bear. The other Latin that you'll find on the crest there, if you bother to look at it, is et commoditi canis et non cantare, which basically translates, as far as I can tell, to eat meat and no singing. But we're going to do some singing soon, very soon.
We see lower mortality. We see lower risk of death.
No. Still nothing can inform us on risk at all, Gil. Still. No.
When these things are corrected, right? We don't see
No,
people...
you can't correct things and from what they were and suggest that you're doing science. Science is about reporting what you observed under control in the first instance. You got any of that kind of data? Still no? Okay. Back to fuck again.
dying more when these things are fixed. So this
fixing things. Good. I'm glad you're here to fix things, Gil.
has to be a spurious association.
Spurious associations. Yes. Do you see why I kind of, what's the word? Lose my will to live sometimes sharing these videos? I don't really. My will to live is very strong. Not as strong as Dave's, but it's strong. Strong with the Force. We are here. The dark side, mind. Something complete.
To be an artifact. And we know it is because we already saw that when you adjust it for chronic disease or
we've covered this, Gil. Perhaps you should come and talk to me, an actual, competent statistician, competent scientist, about where you're going so badly wrong here. Maybe you should do that. I reckon it'd get great viewer numbers too, frankly. People would love that. I'll even be polite to you if you want me to, Gil. I won't swear at you if you want. That's fine, I can do that. I just do it for clicks here, and because my people kind of love it, and they expect me to do it. That's why I kind of have to keep doing it. But nonetheless, you are the most arrogant, ignorant Dunning-Kruger sufferer I've come across in quite some time. And that's saying something. That's saying something, son. Come in front up. Here's a challenge for you. Let's see if you've got a set.
Nutrition, that effect goes away. And it's a kind of an interesting...
So you can't say, no, I'm not going to talk to you because you'll be rude to me. I've just offered not to. We'll just deal with the facts, if you like. If you've got a set at all, if you have any integrity at all, Gil Carvalho, come in front of me for a discussion about this stuff. Let's deal with it face to face so that you've got an opportunity to defend yourself. Good fucking luck, son. Good luck. I expect you to call them a cocksplat. You're a cocksplat, Gil. There you go.
aspect of our society, although an unfortunate aspect, that throughout most of our adult lives, when we are middle-aged, give or take 30s, 40s, 50s, our body weight tends to be a little too high, blood pressure a little
Not me.
too high, cholesterol
Not me, no.
a little too high,
No, there's no such thing, Gil. That's just farcical nonsense.
etc. For most people, for the average Westerner, right?
Wrong.
And most people don't die during those years. And so that corresponds to this lowest point of the graph. Most people are not dying, and yet their cholesterol and blood pressure and glucose.
So again, Gil, have you passed this out? Have you looked at every single individual data set from every one of these prospective studies that you've got up on the screen right now here so that you can intelligently comment on what's happening here? Or are you speculating wildly? It's the latter, isn't it?
Is not great. And then later in life, 60, 70, 80, a lot of times the...
Ask your mate that you had on earlier in this video. No, that wasn't you. That was Simon Hill in the earlier video. See, now videos are melting into each other because I've been on more than once today. Go and watch my video I did earlier, Gil, with Simon Hill, with his mate. Yeah.
You have these chronic diseases like cancers or chronic infections and frailty, and they lose weight and they become more frail.
Yes, you've said this already, I think 3 or 4 times in this video alone, Gil. It was ignorant, stupid, and demonstrably farcical every single time. What makes you think saying the same ridiculous fucking thing again will add any power to it? It will not work or wash with anyone who has more than 3 fucking brain cells, i.e. it will work with your audience, Gil, because everyone that watches your videos and thinks they're great and comments on your videos, Gil, thank you for such great information, Gil Carvalho. You've saved my life. You're so fucking great. No, you're not. You're a cocksplat. You're a fuck trumpet. You're a shit stain. You're a waste of perfectly good oxygen, son. What's next?
And some of these metrics come down. The BMI comes down, the blood pressure comes down, the glucose comes down, the
Oh, shut the fuck up. For fuck's sake, seriously?
cholesterol comes down. And those are the phases where they tend to die at this later period, right? So it
Oh, right, so people tend to die at an older age. We've already got that. We understand, yes. Sure.
creates this association between the lower metrics and the higher risk of death.
Ah, yes, but first of all, you'd have to show that by showing us every single individual data point to pass that out. And even so, it still wouldn't be a cause and effect inference, even if you did that, because it's still an association. Nah. La, 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 la. Remember shark attacks, ice cream sales, videos made by Gil Carvalho and me calling Gil Carvalho a cocksplat or a fuck trumpet or an ignorant little boy, scientifically, a boy in short pants, scientifically. Yep. Movies by Nicolas Cage and drownings in swimming pools, that's probably causal. Take that one back.
That produces this weird tail of the graph, which when we
Yeah,
adjust,
so repeat yourself yet again, Gil, and that will make what you said that was fucking stupid before less stupid. Okay, good.
for malnutrition and chronic disease, that tail goes away. So
Yeah, so fabricating an observation ignoring the observation that actually was made and making it into something that was not observed, i.e. a fabricated data set, while all the time ignoring entirely the first assumption of the multivariate regression analysis procedure, somehow gives you some kind of special powers to pass out cause and effect and talk to me, Gil, about my risk based on data collected on people who are not me. Somehow. How does that work?
Bottom line, in a healthy individual
Yep. Who's that, Gil? According to whom? On the basis of what? Who's healthy?
without a chronic disease,
No, which chronic diseases would that be?
having glucose in the normal range
Oh, what's the normal range according to whom? On the basis of what?
and blood pressure in the normal
Again, same feedback.
range and cholesterol in the normal range
Again, same feedback. According to whom? On the basis of what?
is a good thing.
Is it? Is normal good? Because what are the normal health outcomes for people, Gil? I think you referred to those earlier. The average person, the average Westerner. Are their health outcomes good? Because you just said, well, their metrics are average throughout the middle of their lives where they're unlikely to die. So it must be good, is what you said. Oh dear. Doesn't get any better, does it, kids?
It's better for your health, and if anything,
No, again, better for your health is a cause and effect statement, isn't it? Got some data, Gil, at all? I'm here all week. So is Ted.
it's better for your risk of death. It keeps it low.
Nope. Still. Nope. Still.
Unfortunately, those people are the minority in our society.
The people who don't die ever. I think you'll find everybody does. Isn't that right, Dave? Yes, I'd like more likes. More likes would be good. Or, if you don't like, hit don't like. That doesn't matter for the algorithm. What matters to the algorithm is that you react in some way. So, comment, both here in the live stream chat window and also underneath the video later on when it becomes a pre-recorded video. Comment under there as well. Hit the like button or the unlike button. Couldn't give a shit. Don't hit both though because they'll cancel each other out and then that counts as no response. Fuck, that makes sense, doesn't it? Just like everything YouTube's does, really. And Gil Carvalho. Makes a lot of sense, does Gil? In some reality, one in which I'm not acquainted.
How can we bring down our cholesterol and our glucose
Oh, hang on. Who said we should? Still.
in a healthy way? I actually just published a video.
Oh, well, if you published a video on that, Gil, it must be right because publishing videos makes everything you say right, doesn't it? Because you said so. I'm glad that Gil's here to put us right on things that we're not right about.
Going over that in detail. I cut my cholesterol and my ApoB in half, and I covered all of it. Check it out right
Yeah,
here.
but that's not a good idea, Gil, it seems. That would seem to be a contraindicated, farcical, wild goose chase that you've undertaken there. Not a good idea.
And I'll meet you in there.
No, you won't. You won't, because we won't be going there. The only time my folks will be seeing any more of you, Gil Carvalho, is when I tear you 7 you arseholes again for being wrong again. I've never seen a single video you've ever made that was remotely acceptable, son, in any way, shape or form. You are an ignorant, arrogant Dunning-Kruger sufferer of the highest order. You are fucking offensive in the extreme with your smarmy fucking attitude. You make me sick. Anyway, come and have a debate with me about science and stuff, and I'll tear you 7 you arseholes and show you up, and then I'll feel better, I think. Maybe. Yes, great idea. Awesome idea, isn't it? All right, guys, thanks for joining me once again. Sorry that Ted was not here to help out. Yeah, he's got the shits with me. He must have. Anyway, that's how it is. You know what to do now, though. We're going to sing the song for the second time today. Isn't it great? And it goes a little bit something like this. Steak and eggs and eggs and steak. That's what you should have for your breakfast. Delicious eggs and steak and steak and eggs. Just making sure you heard. We got it. Join me next time when someone will be wrong because it doesn't look like slowing down, does it? See you then. Ted's here. Hello, boys and girls. Right, anyway, hit the, now that you're down there with the knob twiddling Ted, hit the end button, would you, son? Thanks. Well done.